feeling some big feels, and I wanted to share with you how I'm working through them. And this thing that I'm about to share is what I focus on the bad days and the good days and everything in between. And I want to share it with you because when you do this, the ripple effect is so real. And so, what I focus on is being in the practice of love, the practice of love with myself and with other people. And over these last few days, as I'm going through a tough time, I just keep coming back to that. Just love harder, love harder, love harder. And what that means, the practice of love, is being so regulated, working the tools, like getting that suppressed energy out of my nervous system. I'm not talking about working out. I'm talking about like deep somatic work to release the freeze energy from my nervous system. Working other tools so that I can be regulated in the moment and so that I can show up present with myself and calm and not stuck in my head overthinking. Like working the tools so that I can love myself and not beat myself up and not live with regret and not live in the future thinking or the past thinking, right? Presence is the only place where peace and joy are found. Science shows that if I'm worried about the future, that's directly linked to anxiety and stress. And when I'm looking at the past, that's directly linked to sadness and depression. And so this practice of love happens in the moment to find peace. And so when I'm having a tough time, like the first step in that is to release that stuff from my nervous system very intentionally. And then that practice of love is being so connected in the moment when I'm with my people, with my clients, meaning I'm soft, I'm attentive, I'm curious. Like the harder life is, the more I think about loving harder. And with that, I want to give you 2 examples of loving harder that have just felt so good for me. And the ripple effect is real. The first one, last night I was DMing with a new follower, and I love connecting with new followers. I pop into the DMs, I get to know people, and I offer advice completely. So last night was the first example. I was up in the DMs and I was just leading with love. Like I always lead with love. Of course, I run my business by meeting people in the DMs, bringing them to sales calls, delivering a program that changes their life, right? But in the DMs, I just lead with my heart. I genuinely just give my time, attention, and resources to women that need it. And so I'm in the DMs, and this woman right out of the gate was like, I don't have any money. I can't buy anything. I was like, whoa, lady, no one's selling anything. Tell me what's going on. And so this woman had told me she got out of an abusive relationship after over a decade, has 3 kids. She moved to another state and she is alone. She doesn't know what to do. She feels so stressed, anxious, can't sleep, is not taking care of herself, financially stressed, like all of the stress imaginable. And so I offered her 2 really, really deliberate tools to get out of her head and into the moment, and then another one to release big energy from the body. And so, led with my heart. I led with love. Again, I'm going through a hard time, and it's just like a reminder, just love harder, be in love, just lean into it. And so I share these things with her, and she sends a VM, a voice message, like literally in tears. And she's like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, nobody has seen me the way that you do. Nobody has given me this kind of attention. Nobody has listened. I say that to say, like, you never know the kind of impact you're having in someone's life when you love so hard. And so it was like just such a good reminder. Here I am feeling tender and raw, and I loved harder. I didn't turn inward. I just turned into presence and I turned into loving. And wow, I got to love that lady and experience that ripple effect. And it was really gratifying. And the other example, I had a client this morning. I show up, I'm loving hard on this call. And she shared that she had a really rough week. We've been in conversation while she's been gone, and she debriefed on her trip to see her grandmother overseas, and her trip was all focused on being there in those final moments for her grandma. And she shared with me how proud she was that she was able to recognize that she had this really big energy in her nervous system, was able to do the deep somatic work to release it, and she was able to show up in the practice of love for her grandmother and for her father during this extremely difficult, gut-wrenching time. And she shared with me, had this happened last year, had she not had these tools, she would have felt the angst in her body and tried to journal her way out of it. But she was able to release the energy and pinpoint what was her ultimate fear. What was she really feeling? And what she came back to was, my dad is in so much pain watching his mother pass. My dad is hurting so bad, and I just want to take his pain. I want to fix his pain. And she realized after she released that energy, she said, I can't take away this pain. I can't fix this for him. But what she came back to is, I can be in the practice of love. I can be in the energy of love and just be there for him. And so she navigated this really hard, triggering time with immense presence, practiced self-inquiry, and was able to pinpoint exactly what she needed to do, which was be in that practice of love. And she had the tools to do it. And so hearing her this morning was so gratifying, so soul filling, because she felt so empowered and clear on the assignment. My job is just to love and to be present. And that's what I can do in this situation. So although it was hard, she came home in a peaceful state. She loved as hard as she could. And she's still able to keep moving that energy out of the body to show up in this practice of love. So if this moved you, let me know in the comments if you want to learn more about these tools to practice love and to basically be trigger proof. I would love to hear from you. Slide into my DMs and let's connect.